All right, well, it's been an insane sequence here. I feel like Joe and I've casted 4 different series at this point, but it's been a lot of fun to kick things off. We got 2 streams going on. The action's been incredible. This is what our bracket looks like. The 2 play-in matches are done. 2 of our 4 round 1 matches are done. FaZe and Paris meet for another date. If you remember back to Major 1, that was one that went all 5, which was what the insane 2-5 comeback from
I was plugging in a charger
Colossus,
and
like that
everything
insane, like
started it all.
Yeah, no, it really did. Like that was one of the better series we had really back to Major 1. That's gonna be a rematch, but
Thieves Miami.
on PC, on water, everything, bro.
And Thieves just not look good. So
my bad.
No.
Like nah, we lost, guys.
All right, thank you for hanging out with us. It's been beautiful. I'm gonna go eat some food. We'll be casting later on Alpha for Major 4. We'll see you guys soon for the 3rd on for match 4. Major 4's way away. We'll see you for match 3 on Bravo after this.
It's crazy, chat. I ain't a lot.
I'm in the game like EA, been in my process pre-K, shooting my shot from long range, going over here's a good teammate, treat every day like payday, y'all been living so mundane, my work week is Sunday to oh wait, that's every day, putting in overtime, punching the clock, I'ma get what's mine, while everyone's sleeping, I'm living my dreams, I got a coin that's so divine, Lord take the wheel like 10 and 2, I'm losing energy, I'm overdue, I've been on the top ropes, hitting my pros, watch me hit the power moves, been here, done that, you all know what we came for, been here, done that, you all know what we came for, energy, 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 I need that energy, energy.
They were probably a bit stressed though in that first hard point because you gave away a 100-point lead. What the hell happened?
Honestly, I mean, like you said, we kind of choked a 100-point lead. I think the biggest point, unfortunately, I think Abuza team killed, and he actually was out of the map for like a minute. I swear to God, just because of the friendly fire timer, and I mean, they just kind of locked in and played a good map, so it happens.
I'm sorry, did you just blame Abuza?
A little bit. I mean, he's team killing all my boys.
But you managed to pick things up. I know S&D, again, a fast loss on that one, but you did manage to get that mental reset in Overload. Do you think in some ways that tech tool's helped you guys just have a conversation amongst yourselves and just really get your heads back into the game?
I wouldn't say, I mean, they probably did help a little bit, but I think we really reset going into that map. I think we should have been up unless Abizi didn't knife me. I mean, before the reset, he knifed me, which was insane. But I feel like we had good momentum, I feel like into that map.
And that's
even with the reset, it was whatever.
And that's the thing about Vegas. You are a team that once you get the wind on your sails, you can come back. You can take it all the way to Game 5 and reverse sweep. What is it about this team that is able to reset that mentality like that?
Honestly, I think we kind of just catch some confidence, catch some fire. I mean, even map 1, we came out super hot. I feel like we were gunning them pretty bad the whole map outside of them just playing better. And yeah, I mean, we're just confident as hell.
And you were on fire. In particular, that second hard point was a masterclass. Do you think it's something about LAN that really gives you an extra boost, like an energy drink?
Sorry, what'd you say at the end of it?
I was going to say, like being on LAN, is it like drinking a can of Monster Energy? Because you're just something else.
Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, LAN's always better than online. I feel like every player knows it. It just feels better, the environment's better, and even being here for the first time since my first event, actually, CWL London, like in EU. So it's great to be here, and I mean, the crowd's been amazing so far.
Yeah, and they're just getting started. Yeah. Sim, thank you so much for talking to me. Please, Birmingham, give it up for FaZe.
Let's go, man.
Let's head back to the desk.
The boos continue live here in Birmingham, but I am all smiles. I predicted a FaZe Vegas win. They got it done. Allie, you said there would be a reverse sweep in this series. You did. You nailed that as well.
Thank you so much. That was insane. I mean, they literally flipped. It was like LA Thieves beat FaZe Vegas on some of their best maps, and then FaZe Vegas flipped and beat them on some of their best ones. And Chris Slayer, dude, this guy just he never stops putting up numbers like that.
Simp is the greatest in the game for a reason. He showcased it here in front of all the fans. Let's take a look at your scuff play of the game, because Nameless, it is the capping to the reverse sweep 3 games in a row after being down in the O2 hole.
Yeah, you could have just made a Simp montage from the 10 streak that he went on in the Overload. But yeah, I mean, for them, it started in that game 3. Ultimately, we get to this game Game 5, where the problems of LA Thieves past, they just came back. The search and destroy woes. And you know, you've seen a lot of the rounds, Hydra kind of on an island by himself.
Yeah.
You know, and for FaZe, they just know that, right? If we go somewhere all together, we're either going to catch Scrap by himself with a sniper, which happened twice, or we're going to have to just deal with Hydra. And they did that very well throughout this game, especially in the second half. 0-4 was playing way more aggressive. The 1v1 versus Neum was massive, just playing his life. And in the end, they closed out.
0-4 with a massive game, but Drazah as well, I think, deserves a lot of credit.
Yeah.
We're calling for someone to get dropped from FaZe, and Drazah was in a lot of sites. Today, he popped off and he was nearing the top damage in every single game alongside Simp and Scrap. Let's talk a little bit about LA Thieves, though. You picked them to win this. They started off 2-0 before the reset in Game 3. I thought it was a 3-0 finish, Ali. Where did they start to unravel?
It was in the overload. I mean, that was clearly just once they went down those first 2 goals, it was like they had no map control. I mean, they were constantly dealing with a player from FaZe Vegas pushed up into their spawn, just causing chaos. And for some reason, the player counting and all of them being on the same page, I just didn't really see that in that match number 3.
We started with just 10 teams. 2 of them are already sent home, and TJ's complaining about it on Twitter. In the meantime, these 8 are still in it, but you have just 1 life left for the Heretics and LA Thieves in the opening round of elimination. Remember, we will be doing the first round of elimination to close out the night.
Yeah, we're going to get some of those elimination games today. And for Heretics, an underwhelming performance. I mean, in the Game 4, Rencor had 40. You lose to the Gentlemates, where they were clear way above them coming into this stage or coming into this land. A tough loss. They got to bounce back, and they got the Thieves.
Yes, Heretics throwing the overload leads to a 3-1 as they are unable to get to that Game 5. Instead, it is FaZe versus Gentlemates, and after seeing both of them win on the main stage, Ali, who's been more impressive on the day?
Ooh, I have to go FaZe just because of the reverse sweep. I feel like that takes a lot more when you're down 0-2 to pull that back out.
Mental fortitude on display here. And final thoughts as we wrap up a great rivalry.
Yeah, I have the opposite answer to the question you asked, Ali. I think, you know, looking at Gentlemates, 2 wins in a row after 4 and 7. Hey, they're back on land. It doesn't matter about online. They're here to make a run.
When we come back from break, we keep it rolling here in the first round of the winners bracket. Optic, your number 1 seed, will take the stage against Toronto Koi. Lock in.
Major 3 is going to be a classic. 4 challenger teams are taking on the 12 pro on main stage with the CDL Major Hunter Tracer Pack. Collect your chip by scanning the QR code or heading to the in-game store now.
Monster Energy, the official energy drink of the CDL.
He's able to find Metals, who was going on that long route a couple lives ago. Maybe the one player who's going to mess with this setup. Here comes the pressure, though, for Heretics with around 30 seconds left. You deal with the players around it, but on the hill, Kosi continues to earn time. He was going to find a double, but with 20 seconds left, there's a contest.
Steve Heretics. We just about to tie this up with the remaining time. Rancor having himself a map so far. Metals, who's honestly been solid throughout this series, especially in map 1 and 2. 6 and 15 start.
Shit.
And he's got to get something going. But well, despite that, I mean, he had the lead until a minute ago.
What the hell did Dosti get a Hellstorm? So Hellstorm on Dosti.
He earned the five screen before when he was in the hardpoint zone.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He earned it just a minute.
Oh, at P5?
Yeah.
Damn, Chad.
P5 basically. Yeah, we hopped this POV and he was only on 5 spree, so I was like, I wonder if he'll get it, and he already had it. So I think it might have been actually during the P4.
Yeah. I told I told you my money was on M8 too, bro. I told y'all, bro. I like Optic. I wouldn't know Optic was going to win too.
Into a great spot. You check this corner, but it doesn't matter. It just feels like he is zapping right now.
Yeah, every time he's tucked to the corner,
I'm like, maybe not.
6 spree now for
like,
Just trying
See,
to get
these
back
are
in
like the
control of
best
this lead.
teams I know.
P2
So,
ready to go. First there will be Heretics, but
bro,
it's going to be a 3-on-2. You have numbers for a moment.
I
Goes
can't
Paris.
read, bro.
And Rancor again just eats. Not missing bullets. 26 and 12, 8 in a row. Hellstorm earned, chewing up time, doing it all.
Yeah, Simdo, he's going to find one, and Dosie's got the Hellstorm. So you're going to have to get off this time. A little extra utility, a big bonus, plus you find 2. So as good as the hold was, that life was for Rentor may not mean much. As you're going to get on this, you just have to deal with Metals, who is across the map. And maybe he had mute field, so they don't find Metals with that play. And he's able to find, who was that, Envoy on the hill. He's able to get the double, and now you're right back to it.
I'm imagining it was the mute field play.
Yeah, mute field plays, I think, are all over the place right now. Yeah, just Envoy just made one.
All right. Well, Mutefield plays all over the park. Paris still holding on to this lead. Big fights for a big P3 now. Sib and Neptune trying to work together to break this through the back.
Oh, throws an A back.
Tosses it back in. Envoy took a long route to challenge this from the front. See if they can pinch this out perfectly together. Envoy's going to get 2 from the front, set up Neptune to get in. And there we go, another brilliant break from Paris.
Yeah, that one a lot cleaner than some of the ones that we have seen, but they find the one player who's not in the hill. He had a 3 stacked on it. Trophies weren't there, and then, yeah, Envoy, wherever he was, through the middle of the map, got that 2-piece.
He wrapped all the way from Old through, like, Spiral, basically, to mid-map. Like, he took a route.
Yeah, and then we're gassing that up, and they go 4 dead immediately.
Yep, that'll happen, Joe. This is Call of Duty.
Not at P3 normally. It normally doesn't happen here, though.
No, that's a good point, Joe, but it can happen anywhere. And Neptune's just going to go ahead and rotate with 20 seconds remaining on this. Unfortunately, the rest of his teammates still spawning in the back of Old. So Heretics have got everything they want. It's just, can they deal with Neptune? Not yet.
At least know the position to be in. Sib has knife out. He's going to get caught. Very similar to the last time we were here.
Play. Trake's just a little finesse. Back it up and wall jump. Neptune's like, guys, I'm finessing. I'm finding kills. That looks like a sick joke. Neptune's like, boys, get to me.
A lot of these kills are looking like that. People are getting melted all over the place. And due to Neptune's play, what do you know? Paris are in the hard point. They don't have the spawns, but it has not mattered.
Well, that's the thing about 3 or 4. You can win it from the front. And they're going to try to do exactly that here. Last time they got kind of blessed with the spawn in the back. Ryan blessed, like Heretics just didn't have the spawn in the back. Metals is one with a bush. Trakes is going to get 2. Metals is going to pop. And Heretics are right back in this. Nobody can get a strong hold. Really. Everything's split.
Nobody's able to breathe right now. Like, you've had some longer holds, but not many. Not many, as both of our teams are just breaking back and forth. You should see that in the scoreboard. About to be a tie game as we head to P5.
I thought maybe the final couple seconds they get the picks, get the lead change, but now they're going to go off of Old and try to set up now, or try to break for this P5. Envoy and Ghosty, the crossfire, helping each other out. A pair of assists and a pair of kills for both. Ghosty will try to delay any kind of pinch from mid-map. He's battling with a player or 2. Teammates still holding inside the point. Ghosty's going to lose his fight against Super, but Sib does trade it now. Here come Heretics.
You get 20 seconds, now we're going to get 20 seconds. Take control of this. There is 30 left. Rentor, he is still double positive. I swear that Dravik was killing it faster than this M15.
No, honestly, like, I just would have kept that out. His Dravik was special.
But it does not matter. He's still on a 4 spree. Another lead change coming in for Heretics. But all right, 20. And now another 20.
No, I'd love to know what the longest hold has been. It's sub 30 seconds. It's like gotta be. Unless there's one I'm not thinking of. But we're going down to the wire. Third P1, just about to pop. Sib inside and ready to party. Up 10, looking to close out this series. Neptune gets gunned to sleep by Rancor. Now here they're gonna come level 4 and 3 towards the point here for a second. Top spiral, Rancor get to that and try to get angles. Sib though, snapping. Sib, I thought nearly a triple, but as he gets those kills, his teammates find none. Everyone else is going to drop, and Heretics are in.
Yeah, does he get through though? Sorry, Envoy. Did he get spotted? Now they're gonna know he is there. I thought maybe there was a chance for him to get through low dirt and mess with this setup. Looks like Paris really playing for P2. At least you have one player in that spot. That's gonna be Sib. Trace though, he's on 5 in a row, trying to match Rentor, trying to get us to that. game 5. Maybe not rotating with Sid, but trying to find an opening through connector.
Unfortunately, that streak comes to an end due to a team nade. 10 seconds remaining. P2 ready to pop. 5 points.
10 seconds.
Super is going to pounce. So that movement may be a little awkward for a second, but he's able to snap and able to close.
One more player here. It's Envoy. Envoy's got 2. Almost finds the 3rd, but early time to Heretics.
Paris, it's been all about the breaks. When they've been able to come up with them over these first couple of hard points over this day, they're going to need another break. Here, Heretics closer to the lead. And
yeah, I'm not gonna lie, bro. I'm so
Sib's
lucky.
able to get 2 after that. He was the hero in the overload. Sib looks to be the finisher here again. Metals gonna get dropped. Can't walk away with anything. Everybody grouped up and banging it out onto the point. 230. 240, away we go.
It was an opening nade from Envoy that leads to that break. Now you need one if you are Heretics, but not just 3 dead. Super is stuck in a corner, 12 more seconds. And while you find Super, you are staggered now. You have to go. Some deep spawns to the position of Envoy. Neptune is frying. You just need to hold on for 2 more, and they do just that. Paris back on land in a winner's round 2.
A chaotic,
chaotic
exposure map 4. But honestly, bro, it might have been Sibs 2 he got like early in that P2. And then the Envoy nade. But like Sibs 2 were the reason that they couldn't really get like a clean setup. And then Envoy's nade, the pick gets them in. And maybe their best setup and hold is once they finally got control of that P2. They win a pair of hard points. They start out, 3-1 in hard point over their first 2 matches. Some nail-biting wins.
I'm gonna watch on that.
Welcome to the Passion Pit. It's not just Call of Duty League here at Birmingham this weekend. We've also got challenges, and 84 teams are currently competing for the chance to play in the grand final on the CDL stage, but also to play in the Pro-Am Major 3 in Atlanta coming up very soon. So I think that playing on the stage here in Birmingham is going to be more than enough practice to get them ready to play against the pros. Half of the teams are going to be cut today brutally, savagely, which is how we like it at Call of Duty. And then we're going to see Warzone Resurgence come in and take over half the hall. It's incredibly noisy, it's incredibly busy, and it's incredibly tense.
Hold up, chat, hold up. No mind, my shit was bugging out first, no mind, chat. Damn. See me, chat. Why wasn't that bro? Alright, so like, if it was a map, like a big map, I'm gonna use the sniper. If it was a small map, I'm gonna use a regular gun. So, you know what I mean? It makes sense. So. You know, your boy the best sniper out there, bro. Come on now. On keyboard and mouse, I'm like 50-50. On recorder, I'm a fucking demon. Oh my god, I'm a demon. Like, come on now.
unless they double it.
Yeah.
Don't play with him.
That's a little clip from one of the many watch parties we have here at the CDL in Birmingham is hosting 4 just to the left of our stage. On the main stage, though, we got our #1 seed taking on Toronto Koi. Optic Texas has been the best in our online qualifier. This with their first match of the tournament. Before we get to the green team, though, I want to start with the purple squad that had to play through the play-in. Allie, what do the fans need to know about Toronto Koi?
They're a talented roster that has not been playing to their potential. I think that's kind of my takeaway when it comes to Toronto Koi. The main focus being that Search and Destroy has been awful for them, Chris.
Nameless, you've told me that Joe Deceives was once the best player, if not a top 5 player in the game.
Still is!
Has he been enough? Can you enable him to pop off and put up the numbers he was at the start of the year?
Yeah, I would say he hasn't been the issue for this team. They've been trying to figure it out. I mean, since they picked up Kips, you know, they've gotten a little bit better, and you can see all 4 players positive in the play-in versus Surge, which is a good sign. Although they did lose that map 1 with a big lead. Thinking about this roster, though, you just need Insight and Kleenex to put it together.
Yeah.
I mean, especially Insight, he's had a really down stage, because when you look at Kips, they pick him up the stage, Chris. He has been unreal. Top 2 damage rating in the split, a 1.10 in S&D with the most damage per round in the league. Basically what I'm saying is he's taking over in all 3 game modes.
That pregame is insane, by the way. Won first LAN series victory of the year today. They were 0-2 at Major 1. They got double first rounded, so they were able to get that win versus Surge, which I guess maybe you could say that's some momentum rolling in their favor. My biggest focus for Toronto Koi is just like last year. They keep leaning on Joe too much in Search and Destroy. He's getting the plants down. He's getting their first bloods. He's got the best KD. Kips has helped a little bit with 1.1 in the game mode, but overall, he needs some assistance from the other team 3 on this team.
Well, Kips is frying, so maybe the other 2. Like he's actually like one of the best S&D players to split. But to me, the problem is conceptually how they approach S&D. They're the worst defense team in the league, and it's been like this for 2 years. They do these splits, they try to retake, and they're not good at it. They need to play way more aggressive on defense to have a chance. They just played Optic, Allie. They got cooked when they played Optic a couple days ago.
They got 3-0'd, but that was on the internet. Online is different from LAN, and Optic is pretty good at both, though. We've seen them go all the way to 1 grand final. That was back at Major 1. They slipped up against the Gentlemaids, but if they had won that event, we're talking about a historic match win rate, a ridiculous run here in Black Ops 7. Who's been their best player, Allie?
During this split, it's been Hook. Hook Manuk has taken off during this split #2, and when we're looking at vetoes, I mean, their map pool is so deep for Optic Texas. Like, they're in their bag versus almost every single team. They're able to deny that their best hard points. They're able to deny their best Search and Destroys, and therefore get their overload. They want that exposure as well, map #3.
Does Koi have a chance, looking at our first 3 maps, of avoiding the 3-0?
Yeah, the Den hardpoint's their best chance. And remember, that was the map where I believe it was Insight started like 7-20, and they barely lost. It came down to like 1 play on the P2. So you gotta win that Den. If you're Toronto, your hopes and dreams, in my opinion, rely on that first map.
Time to lock in our Scuff Pick'ems. Nameless and I are 2 for 2 on the day, about to be 3 for 3 as I lock in Optic Texas first.
Same. Give me Optic. I think they take this one.
Rally Cat?
Are we counting B Stream too? I'm going with Optic Texas, of course.
Ladies and gentlemen, predictions are in. On the main stage is Frankie Ward. Let's get it going.
Thank you very much, Puckett. It looks like every single seat has a bottom on it, but I imagine there's going to be a few people on their feet in a moment, because our first team is the team we think potentially is going to be raising the trophy on Championship Sunday.
Greenwall, make some noise for Optic!
I mean, you can count on 2 hands the amount of rings on this roster for Optic Texas. I mean, looking at this lineup right now, they have looked unbelievable in the online stage. This is a team who has already been to a grand final in this game. They are looking towards dominance during this weekend, and what better start than to go up against a team in Toronto Koi.
Introduction, but please, Birmingham, keep that noise going for Duke, Shotzi, Mercules, and Dashi.
we've got so much noise from the green wall for Optic, but I know we're going to hear some loud voices for their opponents, and I'll tell you why in just a moment, because first of all, we need to introduce Toronto Pride!
There's two options on the table here. It could be a fall from grace or a rise back to the top. Kleenex and Inside have spent so many tournaments making it to Sunday, getting to finals, and they have the roster to do it. They just have to put it together. But they got to go through the green wall, who they just played recently, and it was off to a pretty tough start. Something tells me they're going to put up a better fight today.
Here are your players. Kleenex, Birmingham, it's your British boys, it's Inside! By your side, we have Kips, and we have Joe Deceives. So you've heard it there. Birmingham feels like they haven't quite picked a side just yet, but those players are going to be fighting for the approval of every single person in this room, and I cannot wait to see what's going to go down. Let's head over to Shift and Study.
Thank you, Frankie. I would say, well, there might be a small little bit of bias in the venue, just a small bit. But hey, you want to talk about just a little bit of an underdog story here. Toronto are playing, at least if they go for, the same four maps they just got done playing Vancouver against. And I will say, if you missed out on the B stream, didn't look as convincing as we would have liked, but they still were able to take care of business in the end.
Yeah, you take care of business, even with Joe Deceive struggling in 2 respawns out of the 3 that you played. Inside played outstanding, but Vancouver are a completely different beast compared to Optic. Optic are the best in every single mode, so to take down a #1 team, you better be on your A game.
It's pups versus the dogs right now, man, I'll tell you what. For Optic, though, hey, coming back into this #1 seed, I don't want to spook the audience a little bit. Last time they were in Europe as the #1 seed, it was in Madrid, and we know what happened there. So there are a couple of ghosts that they need to kind of slay here as they move in towards this first matchup that they play against a Toronto team that is going to be playing a little bit hot, but it is still undeniable what Optic has been able to do across just about every single mode, in about every single map. They look like the complete thing right now.
Yeah, the only map that they don't really play is Blackhawk Hardpoint. Everything else they have tested throughout Stage 2, and they have found a lot of success throughout Stage 2. You can see it on your screen, most Series 1 in an entire stage. You also won 31 out of the maps that you played. That is unbelievable. Out of the best team in every single mode at that, because they are unbelievable in Hardpoint. The best team in Search and Destroy, and they went 8-2 in the Overload column. Like, this team is outstanding from top to bottom.
You know, the thing about it is, you go through what this round robin where everyone plays everyone in the online qualifiers, and we were kind of expecting that it was going to be a pretty clear delineation between the top, the middle, and the bottom. We didn't get that. So I think just looking at the fact that everyone was beating everybody, for Optic to come up and sit there and say, we're not going to lose much at all, even just maps in general, really, I think, ascertains the fact that this team should be looking towards aspirations of making it to and through Sunday. But you don't want to overlook anybody, and that's where I think Optic have maybe stumbled in the past.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to look anyone that you play up against on that main stage on land. But the good thing for Optic is you just played against this core lineup a couple days ago. And with Optic having such a great start to the qualifiers, sitting at 7-0, 8-0, the last couple of teams they played, I said, that's all good. You can play your best map versus us, because that's going to provide us the best practice. So since you already started off on a dead hard point, Nameless touched on it. Inside had a really slow start. He played way better in that series versus Vancouver, but Optic still were able to get that W at the end of that hard point. Yeah, this is a must-win, in my opinion, for Toronto.
Absolutely, and let's just kind of throw everyone into the world of know here. Knowledge is power. For Toronto, they lost this map versus Vancouver, and a lot of it came by way of they were set up first for P2, they were set up first for P4, 4 straight times when they got broken, and every single hill that they had control on, which is something that would dramatically have to change. The energy starts to rise as we get ready to go for map #1. It's been a minute, England, since we've had a chance to see the green wall here in person. So I'm going to ask you once and only once, are you guys ready for a little bit of Optic today? Now let's find out who's ready for some Toronto today. Yeah, it's kind of what I thought. Yeah, Toronto and Optic, map 110. Let's get it on.
Early into the action, Koi need to come out of the gate swinging and be prepared for some of these routes that Shotzzy already is working on. He finds himself behind the lines, over at couches. He leads the opening kill. Hoop strike for number 2. So he's with Koi getting the initial time. Optic clean house. Now they're soaking.
Yeah, that's just break off 101 right there for Optic. Toronto will still spawn towards the P2 side, desperately needing recovery. You see it on the top-hand side. The last time these two teams played, it was tight. So getting off to a hot start would be key for Koi. Right now, they're just playing a little bit of pickup, though, just trying to find some sort of a look at P1. A lot of it shut down through couches, and now Hoops on the route trying to flip spawn.
Yeah, but they had mid-connector, and it's CleanX able to line up a double there, so you get to break for a little bit of time, but still to have the spawns that you want over towards P2. Shotzzy also phenomenal, starts him at 5-1, has the info off to Kiss, but at least sets up Dashy for the kill. Optic just need to get it towards P2 now.
Yeah, big win here, potentially for either side. Hoop joins the effort, though, as Dashy's off the regen. Outer, that's a good win from CleanX on 2. Help is inside with Joe Deceives. Again, he was slow starting versus Sir. And Shotzzy has no intention of letting him hate up. Already finding 2, keeping both sides at bay. But Joe, keeping himself in the hard point, has Toronto still spawning close for quick reinforcement.
Yeah, big moment there for Koi. And a misplay there from Optic because you slayed your way out. You were creating that extra layer through the front door. No one hard blocks the back, but on your second attempt, you're right back in with a clean 4 dead. So only one player on this side. It's going to be Kips. Looking for a one-on-one gunfight. He's able to find it onto Shotzzy, but his teammates are still not in the play yet.
Yeah, Dashy zoning out the rooftops means that this hit for Toronto is staggered and scattered, and all 4 players for Koi will fall. Now it's time to take the hit on the chin, rotate over to P3, and even that will lead to split spawns. Optic in a moment of concentration, trying to work their way through Dojo, but CleanX holds the line for a key double.
And Shotzzy knows that there is this potential at a split spawn here, so he's just going to camp in towards lockers, have another one-on-one gunfight go his way, and now with your teammates spawning on this side, you know all of Koi are going to be over towards Dojo. So you have the numbers, got to hit a stun or a nade to break on it.
Kips is trying to throw a shoulder, but doesn't anticipate that all 4 members for Optic are here. Now a quick pin being established by Mercury through mid-left, but it's Joe Deceives. Much better in the start here on the Den. Able to shut down a couple of Optic members. Dashy is the last one left alive outside the play as Optic are looking for routes.
Yeah, so far, fantastic hold here from Koi because you're forcing Optic to be a little bit uncomfortable. Consistently trying to break through the middle of the map. You go 3 for 1 in the trade fights. Joe Deceives cleans up Mercury's again, so you have an opportunity to take the lead plus some here if you're Koi.
Yeah, and I think, again, the big key is, yes, Toronto can keep things scrappy inside of things like a P3, but it's really about can they dominate on a setup as we look over towards 4. The final battle for scrap time, though, echoes on in front of Doe to try to hold down these dragon spawns or at least allow Joe Deceives to be into the play. But Hoop the Nuke strikes first. CleanX and Insight clean up house, and this is where Joe Deceives' pitch is going to be felt.
Oh, Chad, hold up.
1 back spawn secured. Koi again have another chance to take the lead.
Can they hold? That's the big question. And Dashy's already kicked things off with an entry. CleanX caught, trying to jump over to fill the gap. Kips 3 and 10. Series versus Surge. A slow start here, and Joe just has to back off, value his life. And Optic continue to stagger the respawns as they continue to find stray kills.
Yeah, now you're forcing Koi to just funnel one way all the way through the back doors. Crossfires are set up, trophies is now into play, and Dashy on 5 in a row, locking it down with the M15. Koi just need to get some kind of time off of this, and Kips wins that one-on-one, at least gets off the ground.
Still out there for Dashy, may as well be an SMG for him, but Kips wins that battle, and that will be scrap time. So again, just looking at the narrative and the feeling about this opening rotation, felt like Optic were dominating. Koi only down a couple of points, though. Lucky to still be in it. Now it's just time to clean up the micro moments.
Yeah, the P3 was the answer for Koi, keeping themselves into this mix. Now Optic looking to make those adjustments into the second half. They're losing all the gunfights off the rotation. You have couches somewhat secured if you are Koi, but you're more focused on soaking up the time.
Yeah, I mean, how inspiring is that if you're Koi and you're looking at Kips at just 3 and 10 for the end of the rotation, and you're up now by 8 points. Unbelievable recovery for Toronto as now Joe Deceives is starting to carry the spotlight for him as he's on 4 in a row. One more is Hoop, but no. Trade not officially there yet, but Kips' name will take care of it. Toronto, all the meanwhile, still inside the time.
And Shotzzy's flip spawn now potentially needs to be a big time play. He works his way through rooftops, takes off that pressure off at the time, but it's still Koi in control of the spawns and in control of the map. You're losing every single fight now. If you're Optic, this is not good.
Yeah, this is Joe in that takeover MVP style mode right now. Insight, a bit of a slow start of his own right, but again, Toronto will still get a couple of players to try to defend against this hit towards P2. CleanX, the first one up, doesn't win the gunfight versus Shotzzy, and simultaneously Kips falls inside the hill. Optic will win the rotation to have the setup.
Yeah, and this is where Optic are going to make those adjustments. Make sure you have someone towards the backside, guaranteed blocking those back spawns. Just need to win those gunfights from the front, but it's JoeDeceives lines up a double, and now you have Insight breaking the back, and it's only going to be a one-on-one gunfight, but Shotzzy's still doing Shotzzy thing. Optic still in the time.
JoeDeceives needs to get on the Morse code machine here and just start throwing the SOS out. He needs some help. He is doing everything for Toronto. There's just not a follow-up yet. Kips and Insight really struggling right now, but if they can find a couple of kills to clean up this hit from Optic, it would lead towards some good time for Toronto. Merc still holding the outside, wins the first battle. Wants more as he's doing up with Shotzzy, and from the front, Optic secure a break.
Basically a flawless hold there from Optic from the front side. Gives themselves a nice little comfortable lead going over towards P3, but you're not going to have the numbers, so the Nuke has his hands full, looking for the opening kill, at least stalls time for Mercules to somehow away, work his way through mid-cut. Now the Nuke is going to strike, looking for kill number 2. Rotation now secured by Optic.
And he's going to get the stun check over on the Queenax. Doesn't win that battle. No immediate trade nearby, but you are stuck up creek without a paddle if you're Queenax. So isolation comes through. Toronto trying to pinch from the front simultaneously, though. Now Shotzzy's got the read, but gets pushed off. Maybe a chance here with these mid spawns for Toronto to quickly pinch through mid. Nobody watching that right now from Optic, but Shotzzy's clearing out the front. Here comes the pinch through the middle of the map. Shotzzy somehow still alive. He just has the 1v1 in front of him. Oh, not quite. Insight gets the win, and we're going to go neutral. 2v2 over the time.
Yeah, there's 30 seconds remaining at the P3. All of Koi have been forced to just bombard their way through Cabo every single time. Every single long route over to the backside of Dragon has getting cut down, and now this is a flawless hold from Optic. A chance to go from P2 to P3 with basically uncontested time, but Koi at the right time, breaking for the 20. Now Optic need to hold their irons, lock down this side of the map so they have the rotation anew.
Good first win from Shotzzy. That shuts down the exit through mid. Joe, the only one through, if you want to call it that, is he's going to try to threaten the front. It's all about timing here as Toronto are still waiting to assert some at least pressure towards the backside of Dojo. They will get a kill out of Gibson. Mercules cannot pick which direction he wants to look. So now Dash is in trouble. Spawners are still up for the moment though for Optic. Everyone spawned in. Yes, they do. Luke now back into the hard point, and everything's going to get cleaned up for Optic. Huge moment for Optic Texas.
That's fantastic plays from Optic. Even when JoeDeceives strikes on the unknown factor from the front door, you're able to manage him quickly and now light up the kill feed with everyone else. 30 seconds remaining at this HP. All of Koi forced to break through rooftops, and finally Queenax finds the opening.
You need something out of Kips at Insight. They are 16 and 42 combined right now. You cannot beat Optic 2 versus 4, but Toronto is still hanging in. Another lifeline. But nicks another life out of the Cat's 9, because at the moment Toronto is still just barely clawing to stay in this map.
And now with the leader's advantage, you can start to work on some of these long routes, but you are getting caught in those positionings. Shotzzy works his way through couches, allows Mercules to spawn right near him. So JoeDeceives, he's thinking, I'm going to be crystal clear on the backside of Broken, but here comes the pressure.
First win. Wow, Shotzzy just zooms up the steps. Joe can't quite lock it down, but Kips provides a double to keep Toronto inside the hard point. Queenax cooking up a nade. Now looking over to the top of the time, but Mercules is able to find one. Help is nearby. Insight trying to finesse. Dance, trying to get any damage he possibly can. Decent tracking, but Shotzzy's just a little bit too quick. Joe is slow, should be traded, and Optic secure another break.
Toronto just losing all the map control because Shotzzy is just getting lost. Double positive, another 5-3. And Optic still soaking up a majority of this P1 time. You do that a little bit too aggressive, so Koi have an opportunity, one player, to at least spawn over towards House to get you off at a time, which leads to the break. So Koi, even though they're getting heavily outslayed, they're only down 20.
Yeah, somehow, some way, but we're getting into crunch time, and we could not have players nearly triple negative for Toronto. Queenax and Joe are doing everything. They don't make Jansports big enough, though, to carry through Optic, you would think, especially with a couple of straight kills coming through as June as P2 opens. That will clear the floor. Now Optic have win condition in the form of the hill.
All 4 dead, layers being pushed out, back spawns are being blocked. You now have gained all the information that Koi are going to bombard their way through the front. They do find the opening, too. So you can overwhelm them with the pressure, and that's a clean 4 dead for a clean break for Koi.
But Mercules still alive. Lots of damage in. Toronto will still get a couple of players to contest from the front. You need to show up your Kips at Insight. Kips able to find one. Insight bounced out of the hill, though. Close spawn for Optic. Can you out-trade this if you're Koi? Nice little slide out from Joe, able to find himself a second. The pitch from Queenax involved, and Kips is now showing up 3 in a row. Toronto looking good for the scrap as Optic are spawning all the way out, and they're going to be split, rotating to 3.
The fact that Koi are still in this game with the stat lines that you see, it's not about how you start, it's about how you finish. Kips and Insight, can you have a big moment? Rotation, and the young buck is starting to bark now, 5 in a row.
And he could possibly get a Hellstorm, and he's able to get the win versus Dashy. All he needs is some hard point time. What a resource a Hellstorm could be for Toronto. Stunned right now by the fact that Koi are even possibly considering taking the lead. It's a 2v4 essentially. Kipson not still able to get the Hellstorm shut down before he can earn it, and Optic have numbers to break.
Yeah, who to do fucking double through mid-cut. Now you alleviate all of that pressure from that side of the map. You push out over towards Dojo, and you are trading effectively. You can still win the game here if you are Optic Texas. Koi gonna give it another push through Dojo.
And you know where the hit is coming from if you're Optic. Mercury's taking a lot of damage, instantly traded out. Poop right behind him for 2. Doesn't predict the third. Joe, the last one left alive, has to jump in to find the final 2 Optic members, and he will be pushed out. Can Kips get there to contest? No, he's not going to. It's going to be map number 1 to Optic.
And it's sort of the same score that we saw a couple days ago in the qualifying match. Koi were dominating all of that game until the very ending, where Optic were able to chain that P2 to the P3 to close it out. But Optic, the adjustments that they needed to make was especially on that second half. Koi get beat to the punch at the P2, get full 60'd on. You get beat to the punch at the P3, you give up the first 30. But then you make the P4 scrappy, and even though Koi were able to take that lead at the P2, Optic were in firm control of the game because they were just thinking a step ahead.
Yeah.
When you got players like Shotzzy starting off the game the way that he did, consistently going on spree after spree, and just being so damn annoying to where you're one of the Koi players, like you're coming up the respawn. I don't know if Shotzzy's right next to me or all the way across the map. He's just so hard to keep track of. Thankfully, he has that performance because Optic, they needed him to do that on that opening map.
Without question, he get 4,600 damage out of Joe Deceived with over a minute in the hard point. And to be fair, shout out Treyarch, Kipson Insider looking at the final scoreboard, like I went 30 and 29, I went 25 and 26, I was in there, but not being able to finish those eliminations is where Optic are able to get the extra 10 seconds, the extra 20 seconds. Because simply put, Insight's the guy who they're looking at to say, I'll be in the hill, soaking up some time, and the last guy standing to win a 1v1 to secure things, and simply put, he wasn't able to win those gunfights when they mattered most. And also, to be fair, to kind of throw a little bit of an extra kick around her, Kips is really out of the question until he goes on that 6-3 back over to B2 to B3.
But the fact that they were in this game
is so surprising.
It's very surprising to me, my friend, because 2 players were getting destroyed. Joe Deceived and Kleenex kind of bailed them out of so many situations. And I don't know if this Koi were playing fantastic in the teamwork aspect, or Optic just giving up a couple opportunities and they were seizing it. But regardless, Optic take that opening den. The map that they were trying to add to their map pool all throughout Stage 2 qualifiers. You do it versus potentially the best team on Den Hardpoint, and you did it now back-to-back time versus this lineup.
Yeah, that's a really strong point just overall when you look at just the power stock that Optic brings to the table. Like we talked about, it's not just every single mode that they're finding a lot of success in. It's across pretty much every single map and every single mode. They definitely are set up for potential success, not just in this series, but likely beyond it. For Toronto, I won't say it's the same story as what you and I saw earlier today versus Vancouver, because simply put, they didn't really have a chance to hold anything. And they were still, again, finding times to at least contest, if not flip some of those 50-50 hills, in particular this P3. And just on top of that, they also did a nice job the second time we were on the first hill to get a lot of time there, too.
Yeah, if you're going to say that that's the final score with the stats that we just put up versus the best team in the game, we're gladly going to take that, because obviously we want to get the W, but we fought tooth and nail. We just needed to get 1 or 2 more kills in a certain situation, and that potentially changed the outcome. But another situation here on lane when you find yourself down 0-1 off of an L on Den. You need to have the response here on raid.
And that's the big key, because we were talking about the advantages that Toronto had when it came down to search and destroy on this map versus Vancouver. Their first blood percentage was pretty solid. Their conversion percentage pretty solid as we look back over the game flow map from our first map. And again, just to kind of visually represent what we're talking about, again, it's just like these tight little ebbs and flows.
With 2 players getting destroyed.
Exactly, which is just something that you would normally expect. So now kind of taking that focus into the nitty-gritty of this raid search and destroy. Optic is one of the most successful teams when it comes to first blood percentage and conversion percentage. And when they plant the bomb, they rarely lose a post-plant setup. So I feel like there's a lot of pressure on Toronto to confirm a first blood and hold it. Give yourself a 4v3 early if you want to have a chance to respond to your map too.
Yeah, and also one more thing, Optic are the best team on defense. They always strike for that first blood and don't really allow you situations to get that bomb down. So a lot of things in the back of the mind if you are Koi, but thankfully it's a map that you are very familiar with, a map that you just played in your last series versus Surge. Even though it did go all the way to around 11, there was a lot of good play calls and great decision making to lead to that victory. And they need to be on tip-top form because in S&D in March, these guys are outstanding.
I mean, it's been across every single category. Legitimately, it's been near perfection. But in particular, of course, the KD ranks are up there, but let your eyes fall a little bit. Opening to a win percentage for these two guys has also been unbelievable, considering that Pook is also still in the mix when it comes to that percentage. So there's a lot of bonus towards what Optic's been able to do in the Search and Destroy outside of just killing well. It's been done around the objective, and I think in particular, like we talked about, they don't allow plants to come through all that often.
Yo guys, my PC is glitching, bro, like crazy. Like, bro, this shit actually, like, it's crazy, bro. But yeah, if we all want to see the rest, also go to the other, yeah, see that.